sessions, group meetings, food diaries, monitored physical activity, calorie and sodium intake. Now, one intervention group just concentrated on exercise, and the other one included exercise and diet. They pushed the DASH diet, high in fruits and vegetables, and low in full-fat dairy products and meat, and in 6 months achieved a 4.3-point drop in systolic blood pressure compared to control, slightly better than the lifestyle intervention without the diet. Now, a few points might not sound like a lot. That's like someone going from a blood pressure of 150 over 90 to a blood pressure of 146 over 90. But on a population scale, a 5-point drop in the total number could result in 14% fewer stroke deaths, 9% fewer fatal heart attacks, and 7% fewer deaths every year overall. But a cup of hibiscus tea with each meal didn't just lower blood pressure by 3, 4, 5 points, but by 7 points, 129 down to 122. And in fact, tested head-to-head against a leading blood pressure drug called Captopril, 2 cups of strong hibiscus tea every morning, using a total of 5 tea bags for those 2 cups, was as effective in lowering blood pressure as a starting dose of 25 mg of Captopril taken twice a day. So, as good as drugs, without the drug side effects, and better than diet and exercise? Well, the lifestyle interventions were pretty wimpy. As public health experts noted, the premier study was only asking for 30 minutes of exercise a day, whereas the World Health Organization is more like hour-a-day minimum. And diet-wise, the lower the animal fat intake, and the more plant sources of protein the premier participants were eating, the better the diet appeared to work, which may explain why vegetarian diets appear to work even better. And the more plant-based, the lower the prevalence of hypertension. On the DASH diet, they were told to cut down on meat, but we're still eating meat every day, so would qualify as the non-vegetarians here in the Adventist II study, which looked at 89,000 Californians, and found that those who instead only ate meat on more like a weekly basis had 23% lower rates of high blood pressure. Cut out all meat except fish, and the rate is 38% lower. Cut out all meat, period. The vegetarians have less than half the rate, and the vegans, cutting out all animal protein and fat, appeared to have thrown 3/4 of their risk of this major killer out the window. One sees the same kind of stepwise drop in diabetes rates as one's diet gets more and more plant-based, and a drop in excess body weight such that only those eating completely plant-based diets fell into the ideal weight category. But could that be why those eating plant-based diets have such great blood pressure? Maybe it's just because they're so skinny on average. I've shown previously how those eating plant-based diets have just a fraction of the diabetes risk even at the same weight, even after controlling for BMI. But what about hypertension? The average American has what's called pre-hypertension, which means the top number of your blood pressure is between 120 and 139. Not yet hypertension, which starts at 140, but it means we may be well on our way. Compare that to the blood pressure of those eating whole food plant-based diets. Not 3 points lower, 4 points lower, or even 7 points lower, but 28 points lower. Now, but the group here eating the standard American diet was, on average, overweight, with a BMI over 26. Still better than most Americans, but while the vegans were a trim 21 over here. That's 36 pounds lighter. So maybe the only reason those eating meat, eggs, dairy, and processed junk had such higher blood pressure was because they were overweight. Maybe the diet per se had nothing to do with it. To solve that riddle, we would have to find a group,